Hi, Ed Golod, Speedcast, here again with Andy Lee, COO, co-founder of Vincere Biosciences. Mr. Lee today, how are you?
Doing well. How are you, Ed?
Good. Today is my favorite topic. Show me the money. You know, when I saw the Jerry Maguire movie, I had that expression 30 years earlier, but I never patented. But you've heard that story from me. So we're going to talk about money today. Money is good, not greed. Money is good. It drives the world. We've been talking quite a bit about Parkinson's, the platform you developed, the tools you developed, the advantages that you have, the mechanisms being bio and tech and complex AI. You're really I call Generation 4.0 cure for a disease, curing many organs into almost $1 trillion business. Spell it out for me. If I was investing in this, small, medium, or large, how would I understand the optics of the return, which are a lot more intense than I think people understand them to be?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I'm going to start broad with an overview of the way the drug development ecosystem works in general. If you think about a cure for Parkinson, something that actually stops the progression of the disease, is estimated to be worth somewhere north of $100 billion. And so that's the commercial value once an approved drug is being sold through doctors to patients. That's the incentive that the pharmaceutical companies have to either invent or purchase something that can do that. The typical process, especially in the last 10 years or so, is that pharmas are leaning more heavily on external innovation rather than internal invention. And they're looking for things right around the first in human trial. You may have heard of the FDA's clinical trials of phase 1, where you test for safety, phase 2, where you get a proof of concept that it works in a small set of patients, to phase 3, where you show that it works in a large number of patients. And so somewhere around that phase 1 trial, pharmas want to in-license promising drugs. Well, for similar diseases of neurodegeneration, for Parkinson's disease drugs similar to what we're creating, the industry average is about $500 million for that, to in-license a drug that does that. So that then you can see there, the finances for the pharma make sense. They buy something for 500 million. If it works, it's 100 billion. They know they're going to have to buy, 10 of these, and hopefully one of them works, and they still make good money on the other side. For going now on the earliest side of scientific discovery, where people are just taking basic science to come up with the building blocks of what happens, this is almost entirely funded by government grants, where the NIH and NSF are funding $60 billion a year of basic research to the universities.
Yes, and you're funded by grants. And what I love more than anything is you're funded by the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And everybody in the world knows Muhammad Ali, who died of Parkinson's, who was my hero, who I met and actually sat and had a conversation with. He's on your website. And everybody knows Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future. So this actually opens up another conversation of how you're getting your money. And then how does it translate to an investor saying, hey, what do I get in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years? You're not your mother's or grandfather's drug company here.
Yep. And so that leads nicely to this, the gap that Vincere fills. We're amongst the set of biotech companies that bridge between the grant-funded basic research that happens in the millions of dollars per year of study kind of range, to the pharma in licensing that's in the hundreds of millions of dollar range. And in that middle, you've got biotech companies in the tens of millions of dollars range that are taking these new discoveries out of academia, or in our case, a lot of it done with internal research that we're doing that basic science ourselves, to develop that from an idea into a drug, and then sell that drug to the pharma for that final commercial translation. And so you've got this gap where you can go from tens of millions of investment to hundreds of millions of dollars in returns within a 2-3 year time span. From that, we've got a good idea this is going to work, till we get it to humans to start to prove that it works.
That is That is the sentence. That is the show me the money sentence. As a layman, but I do have a chemical engineering background. You just said something nobody hears. Nobody's talking about this. 2 or 3 year for a 10, 20 or a 20x return, and not 10 years to maybe get to market. And on top of that, you have 10 tools that you've built to find the cure for Parkinson's. They're monetizable, and we're actually monetizing them now. On top of that, you have a platform, not just a cure for Parkinson's, which means it then is an anti-aging mechanism for heart and kidney and diabetes and liver. You really are a paradigm shift. You're the new generation of curing a disease. I'm an excitable guy. I'm a New York guy. I'm a little wild. This is the most wildest thing I've heard, but yet the most proper, disciplined, and effective way to do something. Do I have that right, or am I just excited to be here?
No, you do. It's very exciting because you've got each of these drugs has the potential to treat many diseases. So you've got a multiplier effect there, and the world has changed dramatically in the last few years. That if you're not running your business in an AI-enabled way, you have no chance of competing.
That's a de facto standard. Self-driving cars. I mean, we can go on for hours about exactly.
And yet you'd be surprised how many of the big pharmas aren't doing it, how many biotechs are out here still trying to take a drug out of an academic lab and carry it through, just develop this one thing. And maybe you can hit some singles and doubles that way, but you need that automation if you're going to do this over and over and over in a repeatable invention kind of way.
Absolutely. And I've been 37, 38 years in selling tech, 3 businesses. I'm deep into AI, ML with clients, and you're absolutely right. You take anything out of academia, you need a shoehorn and a jackhammer, let alone, oh, why don't we go cure Parkinson's and build an AI engine that has never been seen before? And that's why you're not a bio company, and you're not a tech company, and you're not an incubator company. You're almost 3 times 3. Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy.
And because we do that full stack AI-enabled drug discovery in-house, we invented the tools, we're inventing the drugs, we're doing the development all the way through, we're able to find the efficiencies, fill the gaps, and push these things through in a way that you can't do if you're pure AI, you can't do if you're pure bio. And very few people have the ability to speak both languages.
So let me distill this down into dollars and cents. So A, you're backed by $1.5 million out of Michael J. Fox Foundation, which is amazing. B, you have a platform. C, you have 10 tools that you built to do the platform, which are now we're monetizing. You have a way to work on aging, which is the backbone of the Parkinson's problem, which can impact 10 different body parts and organs. Within that substructure, there's diabetes and dementia, and I can go on and on and on. You're not creating a pill to cure Parkinson's. You're working on a holistic approach to the whole body, but Parkinson's was the best way to open the door. And that's the way science works. It's trial and method, and it's very focused and narrow. From an investor perspective, you put in $1, and in 2 or 3 years, you get back $20. Do I want that? Or do I want to put in $100, and in 9 years or 11 years, I might get back, $200 or $300, or maybe not? You are the new generation of making money. You're like Bitcoin, a new way to pay people. You're a new way to invest and generate return and save millions of lives. It's highly emotional for me because we have family with this problem. We have friends with this problem, and it's pretty intense. And to make money with it, you could tell from my voice, I want everybody to know about this. And we get paid real simple. We make a cure for Parkinson's. I work with you as a client relationship, and that's what we do. Nothing wrong with making money. Andy, you're a beautiful man. This is Ed Golod, Speedcast. Again, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Ed.